So wait, am I gonna throw off the count if I have to leave? Am I gonna throw it off?
No, we need a minimum of we need a minimum of 3 for committees.
Okay.
Because committees are 4 people.
Gotcha.
But after I think my 2 committees will be done by the time. If not, my daughter will have to walk up and talk about it.
Okay, I am going to call the May 12th, 2026 Finance Committee to order. I am the chairperson, Liz Muirhead. I recognize Vice Chairperson Shauna Maxwell and Board Member Robert Knecht. Board Member Robin Seagreaves is excused. First item is the approval of the minutes for the April 14th, 2026 Finance Committee meeting. Are there any additions, corrections, or modifications to those minutes? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes as presented, please say yes.
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 Yes. Okay, the minutes are so approved and will be placed on file. First item is a presentation, the 2026-2027 School District Budget Update with Dr. Abarczyk and Ms. Diefendorfer.
Get it up on the screen. Can you get it up here too? Can you have it up on the screen here for everybody, please? Okay, so good evening. Tonight I will provide a brief overview of the proposed 26-27 budget, including key expenditures and revenue drivers, the projected budget gap, and next steps as we move forward for final adoption. We have shared this slide and since we've started the presentations. This just kind of provides a high-level overview of how our district expenditures are categorized and where the majority of our resources are allocated. So we do it by major object code 100s through the 900s. This is our budget overview for expenditures. The proposed budget is currently $258 million compared to $242 million last year. And that represents an increase of $16 million or 6.61%. The largest area of expenditures is in salaries and benefits, in our professional and technical services, debt-related obligations, and purchase services, including charter, tuition, and transportation. If you look at that, it just kind of gives you the categories by what I had mentioned before, the major object code. This slide here represents the major expenditure drivers impacting the budget. We've included this in our previous presentations as well, so we just wanted to leave this here to share the key drivers, which would be our contracted obligations, the special education services, our charter tuition, transportation, and our debt obligations. As we're looking at our revenue, the district has three primary sources. That would be from local, state, and federal funding, with local revenue primarily driven by taxes and state revenue primarily driven by subsidies. Looking at our proposed revenue, we are proposing $247.1 million as opposed to $235.5 from last year. That is a total change of $11.6 million or a total increase of 4.94%. The state revenue reflects a significant amount of increases. That's primarily due to changes in state funding and our subsidies at $9.4 million. Local revenue is projected to increase by approximately $2.2 million. This is driven by our assessment growth, adjustments to projected collection rate, which we will talk about in another slide, and then investment in interest and earned income tax projections. The federal revenue kind of stayed level. And at this time, we haven't included any fund balance comparison because we haven't yet determined the use of fund balance. That isn't off the table at the moment, but we are being very strategic about using our fund balance for this proposed 26-27 school year. So based on our expenditures and our revenue, we are projecting a budget gap currently of $10.8 million. And that's before any of our balancing strategies that we can look for down the road. So as we're budgeting, this is our budget parameters for the base index of 3.5%, as well as the adjusted index of 4.5%. So this allows us to raise taxes between the base index all the way to the adjusted index of 4.5%. You'll see that it has 0% in exceptions. As a district that receives both Ready to Learn adequacy funding and tax equity, we are prohibited from seeking any referendum exceptions, which is why you'll see 0% for both of those. So basically, the maximum increase available to the district is the 4.5%. This slide's a little busy, but this kind of breaks down the various scenarios based on those percentages. So we have a no tax increase that resulted in a dollar change of about $4.7 million. And that was based on assessment values as well as the collection rate. We have noticed that we have historically brought in a 90% rate over the last 5 years, so we went and increased that from 95% to 97%. So that change is a 3.71% based off of the prior school year's tax revenue of the $129.3 million. And I'll touch base on each of those categories in another slide, but I just wanted to have all that laid out into one slide for you to see what that looks like. So looking at this slide, if we were to do a 3.5% Act 1 tax increase, the projected gap would decrease to approximately $6 million. And that's at the 3.5 tax increase scenario. At the 4% tax increase scenario, the budget gap would be $5.2 million. And at the 4.5%, the budget gap would be $4.5 million. So even if we went to the 4.5%, we still have a budget gap, which means that we have to figure out other ways to balance our budget. Again, looking at the primary drivers, I know I feel like a broken record here tonight, but it is our charter schools, it's our special education cost, it's our salaries and our benefits, our transportation costs, and our debt service obligations. That is a fixed and predetermined payment, so that's an area that we really cannot touch. So these lay out our next steps. Collectively as a team, we will continue to refine our expenditures and our revenues, we'll review our staffing and departmental budgets as well as the school budgets, evaluate charter trends, and identify any balancing strategies prior to our final adoption. And this leads us to the work that we'll continue to do between now and our next board meeting at the end of the month, and will lead us to our final adoption on June 9th at our special school board meeting. Which has to be done before June 30th. So there's still a lot of work to be done. Again, this is just preliminary numbers. Dr. Robarczyk and the team will continue to work to see where we can find other strategies to bridge that gap, see if there's a strategic way to use our fund balance. That's the last resort that we have currently in mind, but we will explore all avenues at this point in time. Dr. Robarczyk, is there anything you'd like to add?
And I just want to add that Ms. Diefendorfer and I were already brainstorming ideas in different departments and those main categories. As we said, that last one, it's kind of a predetermined and fixed allocation that needs to be set there. But, the one comment that was made was about the charter schools. And I just want to point out, because as you know, we're doing the Choose Coatesville campaign and everything, and we have been successful in students returning back to the district. But at the same time, what we do is we see costs go up in other areas of the charter school costs with the special education. So just for example, from year to year, from last year to this year, our regular ed students that were in charter schools last year was 2,181. This year we are at 2,068. So we are minus 113, where we have students back in our buildings and those funds coming back to our district. Where the overall is the special ed, where we had 797 last year, and this year we have 815. So we are 18 students up in the area of special ed that have gone into charter schools. With our overall total of 95 students that we're looking at who have overall come back to the district. When you consider that the cyber special ed cost for a student is $26,748 per student. And then when you look at the brick and mortar of, Collegium and Avongrove and those that are, any others, it's $68,878 per year per student. So like I said, even though our cost in regaining students back into our buildings, the problem is the special ed costs, where they are still problematic in identifying a student with just a simple need for either OT, PT, or speech and language, where services can be rendered and with minimal cost as compared to the $68,878 we're paying per student, as it is right now based on the formula. And that's something you've pointed out, Ms. Muirhead, in the past, is just the problem with the
problem with the formula. Yeah. So we know that the cost using the PDE 363, is that what the form is you said it's $68,000 for special education for bricks and mortar, is that what you said?
Correct, $68,878.
Lori, last year I had you calculate for me what that number would be if we divided it by the actual number of students instead of using the statewide assumption that was written into the law of 15%. Is that something you're able to provide for me again this year?
Yeah, absolutely. We can work that number, and I can present that at the end of the month.
Okay. Thank you. That would be helpful. I did do, sorry, I'm looking for it. I did do some information seeking, and what I determined was that if we look at kind of statewide data in terms of charter payments, the average regular education cost statewide using PDE 363 is $14,400 for a regular education student and $33,200 for a special education student. If you are a district where 15% of your student body are special education, that would result in those numbers being your charter tuition payments. However, if you spend those amounts on your students, but like Coatesville, you have 30% of your student body as special education, just changing that denominator causes those calculated charter tuition numbers to change. Regular education is $14,400. Special education goes up to $52,000. So in the case that you haven't changed what you're spending at all, you're just now a district that has more students who are special ed, your tuition amount changes. And so if you project that, like if you took a district that had 1,000 students and 700 of them were regular ed and 300 of them were special ed, under that scenario, you would run that district for about $20 million. If 100% of those students went to charter schools, your required charter school payments under the law would be $25 million. And that's before you account for things like transportation, debt service, building maintenance. So obviously, the law, when you have a district like ours with a high percentage of special education students and a relatively high percentage of students attending charter schools, those two factors both exacerbate the expenses. And this is not information that I'm sharing as, an indication that I am not for school choice. I am for school choice, but we have to fix the formula. So, all right. Does anyone on the committee have any questions for our administrators and staff on the budget presentation? Please.
Just real quick, the number that's in there for the state, how confident are we in that number? Because in the past years, that has actually increased in our favor after the budget finally settled, yes?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in what we put in that number.
Yeah, so you don't think we're going to get?
I do not.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think in the past, Lori has tried to have the right degree of optimism because we don't want to underassume what the state will pay and then raise taxes more than we need to. But if we overassume what the state will pay, we could end up in a budget deficit.
Yep.
So it's a balancing act. Any other questions or comments from members of the committee? questions or comments from the full board? Okay, thank you very much for the budget presentation. We look forward to updates between now and the end of the month. Moving on to our agenda items. Letter A, financial statements. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the financial statements, bills, payables list as presented. Do any members of the committee have questions or comments on this item? Any members of the full board? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
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 Yes. Okay, it is so moved. Letter B, the renewal of the district solicitor, Whistler Pearlstein LLP. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the renewal of Whistler Pearlstein LLP as district solicitor pursuant to the legal services renewal agreement for the 2026-2027 and 2027-2028 school years as presented. I'll note that there are some modest changes in service costs detailed in the agenda item. Attorneys with more than 5 years' experience going up $5 per hour to $200 an hour, and attorneys with less than 5 years' experience going up $5 an hour to $175 an hour. Paralegals going up from $110 to $115, and no charge for administrative assistant work. I would love to ask if we have any comparison from our financial director on how our legal costs have fared with this particular solicitor relative to our previous solicitors.
Yes, so I did a comparison from the former solicitor to our current solicitor using the last 3 years from 7/1 through 4/30, because that was the most recent data that we had. In the total of the 3-year period from our old solicitor, it was about over $1 million at this point in time. With our current solicitor, it's about $604,000, which is a difference of $446,000. So significant change, significant savings with the making of that change. So, we look forward to continuing the services of our current solicitor and the savings that we are experiencing. And that's probably another area in our strategic planning where we can maybe reduce some of our expenditures that we currently have in our budget, just knowing where we are currently with that.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from other members of the committee?
Can someone just speak to, I guess, we use more than Justin's firm, correct, for different things? And just why is that? And is there any thought process in changing that for any reason? Because I know we use Lamb Mackerline for things, and
Yes.
there's an outfit in Lancaster I think we use.
We use Lamb Mackerline for our appeals mainly. Any of the district appeals that come in from taxpayers that we're trying to reduce the loss of revenue, we utilize their services. They're also our bond counsel. We did move over, I believe, services from another firm to our current solicitor for special ed services. So we are making changes where it's, more dedicated to having the services with his firm as opposed to several different firms. And we do still have one open item with Lipin's office that we are trying to wrap up. But we're relying on the state for that. So unfortunately, we have no control of that.
So it's really just a matter of like different firm, if we're using different firms, there's a good reason that maybe expertise or
Correct.
what they can do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments from members of the committee? Questions or comments from the full board? Okay. I'm really pleased to see how much we've saved by moving to the solicitor, and the costs increase seem very reasonable. So thank you. Absolutely, please.
I just wanted to make a comment because I said this privately, so I'll make it publicly. I think I've only been back on the board for 4 or 5 months or whatever it's been, but the difference between Justin's representation, what I think legal representation should be, and I won't name the two people I have in mind in the past, but I think it's like night and day. And Justin, I really appreciate what you've done for the district and your firm has done for the district. Because I mean, quite honestly, some of the things that happened here in the past were unethical and probably borderline criminal in some ways. So thank you.
I really appreciate that feedback, Bob, and some of the kind words from each one of the board members. And we really appreciate the opportunity to continue working with the district. And it means a lot to me because I think, as all of you know, I don't know if all the public does, but I am a Coatesville resident. So knowing that the work that we do, impacts the community that I live in personally, it means something to me. So I really appreciate the vote of confidence and look forward to continue working with you all.
Thank you. All right. Any other comments before we move on? Okay. All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
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 Yes, it is so moved. Letter C, termination of Coatesville Hotel Office Tax Increment Funding, TIF, and distribution of funds. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the termination of the Coatesville Hotel Office Tax Increment Funding, TIF, and distribution of funds as presented pending final solicitor review. Just a little bit of context here. Back in 2008, the board, the city, and the county contemplated using tax increment funding to help drive development in the district, and it led to the construction of the Courtyard Marriott Hotel, I believe, on Route 82. The way that tax increment funding worked is there was a loan that was then used to help build that, and it was then offset by some tax revenue. So our understanding is that the time period for that has now expired, and we can actually terminate that and reclaim some of the funds that are in that account for the district. So as we're searching for $5 million, that could be very helpful. Are there any other questions or comments on this item? Anything you would add that I didn't? Okay, all right.
Good, thank you.
All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
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 Yes, okay, it is so moved. Letter D, appointment of board treasurer Pamela Kiley. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors appoint Pamela Kiley to a one-year term as board treasurer from July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027 as presented. She's the Assistant Director of Business Administration and has been serving as our board treasurer. This is a routine item. Any questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from the full board? Okay, all in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is so moved. Letter E, Advant Edge Regulated Medical Waste Services Agreement. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approves the Regulated Medical Waste Services Agreement with Advent Edge for a one-time pickup in the amount of $125 per container with a minimum of one container as presented. Lori, did we get any other details around this? My understanding is that this is like the medical waste that ends up in nurses' offices in different buildings around the district?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so we're expecting it to just be one barrel, probably.
I would presume that would be the case.
Yeah, okay, so very, very minor. Any questions or comments from the committee on this item? Questions or comments from the full board? Okay, all in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
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 Yes. Okay, it is so moved. Letter F, Arbiter Sports LLC License Agreement. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the renewal of the 3-year Arbiter License subscription order form to utilize the registration platform for athletics, activities, student council field trips in the amount of $8,433 as presented. That covers 3 years, as noted. This is the service that we use across all of these different items at the secondary level, I believe. So this isn't what we're using at the elementary school level. Any questions or comments from committee members? From the full board? Okay. All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
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 Yes, it is so moved. Okay, letter G, Wiggins Shredding, District Shredding Event. That the Board of School Directors approve the quote to provide services for district-wide shredding at the estimated cost of $3,175 as presented. This is a typical thing that we do every year or periodically. The estimate here is not to exceed 77 bins, which is a little higher than what we usually do because of the building closures. We expect we'll have a few extra things to shred this summer. Any questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from the full board? All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
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 Yes, it is so moved. Okay, letter H, Tyler Technologies, Student Transportation Map Subscription Quote. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approves the quote for the Student Transportation Map Subscription with Tyler Technologies Student Transportation GIS Group to update county maps no more than twice a year for a total of $4,076 this year and an annual recurring fee of the same as presented. I just have a note here. There was a different program that we used in the past, but they are no longer providing this service. So this is a new provider. The amount is low enough that it doesn't require competitive bidding, and they actually tie into the current routing system that we already use. So it's very logical to use them for the maps. Any questions or comments from committee members on this item? Questions or comments from the full board? Okay, all in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
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 Yes, it is so moved. Okay, letter I, Coatesville Partners LLC Tax Assessment Appeal. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the stipulation for settlement agreement regarding a taxpayer initiative tax assessment appeal concerning Coatesville Partners LLC as presented. You may remember that a few meetings ago, we talked about paying for an assessment and have a large parcel in the district with a market value of around $7 million assessed due to a taxpayer initiative assessment appeal. This is the result of that. We were able to negotiate a agreed upon settlement that limits us to about $1,100 in lost tax revenue. So very small loss, absolutely worth the money that we spent both for the assessment and for the negotiation. Any questions from the committee on this? Questions from the full board? All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
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 Yes, it is so moved. Okay. I am going to bundle the donations, so letters J, K, L, M, N, O, and P. Recommended action that we accept all of these donations as presented. Senior Prom live stream, the Memorial Senior Awards donation, Donors Choose, Giant Martin's food donation for Reeseville, Ahold Delhaize, which is another Giant Foods donation for the intermediate high school. There's a very generous donation from Home Depot to the Cash College and Career Center to help build like an amphitheater in the outdoor area just outside there. And then our new, very exciting Coatesville Sports Virtual Hall of Fame kiosk in the intermediate high school gymnasium area. Any questions or comments on any of these donations? Love to see the generous support of our district and really thank everyone who coordinated or contributed to these donations for our staff and students and buildings. Okay. All in favor of moving these to the full board agenda, please say yes.
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 Yes, it is so moved. Okay, I'm going to bundle the last three, the staffing changes Q, R, and S. Recommended action is the addition of 2 learning support special education teachers, 2 middle school attendance secretaries, and 1 secretary for pupil services special education. My understanding is that some of these people are being actually redeployed from other buildings, so these aren't actually increases in headcount.
Correct. With the closure of Callan and East Fallowfield, there's some redisbursement of people within the district itself to ensure that we are covered in all bases And from my understanding, from my history of learning the history here, we are actually returning attendance secretaries to the middle schools. There used to be one once long ago. So that will be an added addition. And then the need for the additional secretary for pupil services, special education. As we know, we have a lot of contracted employees here. So this person will be ideal in helping us to maintain the who's here and who's not, and making sure that they are onboarded and offboarded correctly.
Any?
So is there anything magical in the way we write this where is there a difference between saying there's an addition and a creation of a position?
So no, the addition of 2 learning support teachers, that's because we have learning support teachers in place already, but the addition, it really would be the creation of 2 middle school attendance secretaries.
Okay.
Either way, addition or creation. But the one for the Secretary for Pupil Services, Special Ed, has never been in existence, so that is a creation overall.
Okay, I was just,
Okay, great. Any other questions from the committee on this item? Any questions from the full board? Okay, all in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
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 It is so moved. All right, we have informational items, our account code legal fees, and our medical claims as of March 2026. There is no old business. Is there any new business? Is there any public comment? Okay. The next meeting of the Finance Committee will be Tuesday, June 9th, 2026. And with that, I adjourn Finance Committee at 6:33 p.m. Yeah, let's go to education.
Who, you are?
Yeah, I mean, you're doing it.
Sure, but, yeah.
I know.
All right. I'd like to call to order the May 12th Education Committee meeting. I'd like to notice the presence of members, myself, Steve Wilson, Bob Knecht, and Liren Yako. Not present are Robin Seagreaves, Director Seagreaves tonight. First on the agenda is approval of the meeting.
Your mic's not on.
Do I need to start over?
No.
Or did you guys catch that?
Do you?
And recognize that Hannah is our employee representative who's here.
Welcome. I'm sorry. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Meeting minutes. Does anyone have any objections to approving the meeting minutes? My computer's moving slow. Of April 14th, 2026. Hearing none, please say yes if you approve to move it forward to the full board meeting.
Yes.
All right. Moving on, there's no presentations tonight. Moving on to agenda items. First item is item A, DCCC dual enrollment, MOU. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the dual enrollment MOU with Delaware County Community College as presented. Signatures required in the MOU. From committee members, any questions, comments for administration? Full board, and Hannah? Okay, hearing none. Please say yes if you agree to move this forward to the full board meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, B, Beanie Bounce Party Rentals Agreements. Recommended action, that the Board of School Directors approve the rental agreement with Beanie Bounce Party Rentals for North Brandywine Middle School in the amount of $3,052.80 to be funded partly by the district and partly by student government and East Fallowfield Elementary School in the amount of $1,147 for end-of-year positive behavioral interventions and supports activities as presented. Is this what replaced
That's
the
what-
previous contract?
I'm guessing that
It's been replaced, it's been vetted, we are good to go.
that's what I want to make sure.
Insurances?
Our insurance is covering it.
We're all good.
All right. I assume that much to be true, but any other
Great.
questions from
Nope.
committee or full board?
You asked them. You asked them.
I already did?
You asked my question. Thanks.
Oh, okay. You
Appreciate
got
it.
All right, hearing none, please say yes if you approve to push this forward to full board meeting.
Yes.
Yes. Director Yacob? Yes?
Yes. I forgot I was part of this committee again.
You are still
I
part.
apologize.
All right, moving on to C, elementary summer reading list. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the new elementary summer reading list as presented. I could probably put these two together, as well as D, 7th and 8th grade summer reading list. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the summer reading list for incoming 7th and 8th grader students as well. So C and D will bundle. Any committee members have any questions or comments for administration? I would like to just say I did review these. And I authentically, I personally, this like got me really excited. This list and this recommended books for this summer, I was at home and just kind of jumped out of my seat a little bit because this is, in my opinion, a phenomenal list of books for this summer. And it excited me to read this, to do a little research on it, and to see the full diversity of representation that's embodied in this. So much more than just color, but full narratives, protagonists of diverse backgrounds. Just fantastic from my perspective. So I just want to say thank you for this reading list for our students this summer. I can see all of our students really embracing and seeing themselves in these narratives and stories. So thank you.
Appreciate that, Steve. And I want to thank Leah and Becky for just the thorough job they did. Obviously, we heard you and reflected on that, and that's what makes the difference. So, all right,
Wonderful.
thanks.
Any other comments from full board? Okay, hearing none. For committee members, please say yes to push this through to full board meeting.
Yes.
Yes. All right, moving on to E, Fair Agreement for Educational Services. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the Thayer Leadership Agreement for Educational Services for the convocation speech for the 2026-2027 school year at the cost of $10,500 as presented. Any questions from committee members? Is this similar to previous years?
So we're very excited. So last year, we know we had Doc Brown, who was our keynote speaker at convocation at the beginning of the year. So this year, we have retired Colonel Pilar McDermott, who's part of Thayer leadership and will be bringing a message for all staff, school board members. And so we are very excited about this opportunity. So to help set the tone for the year.
Sounds great. Any questions from committee or full board? Okay, hearing none. For committee members, if you agree to put this through to full board meeting, please say yes.
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 Yes. All right, moving on to F, the Campus Chester County Rink Rental Agreement. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors ratify the Campus Chester County Rink Rental Agreement for the Kings Highway 4th grade team as presented. The students are going to work on teamwork and problem-solving skills, enhance communication skills, identify safe risk-taking behaviors. Any questions from committee members or comments? Full board and Hannah? Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. For committee members, if you agree to put this forward to full board meeting, please say yes.
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 Yes. Moving on to G, Wilson Reading System Level 2 Agreement. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the agreement for 2 reading specialists to continue with the Wilson Reading Certification Program as presented. I'm not going to read the whole next paragraph. Any questions, comments from committee members? Dr. Barczyk, anything you want to comment on this, or is it?
Yeah, just, it's a program, obviously, to help our most neediest students with reading skills, and we're excited to have it.
I do have a question. Do we not have it last year? I know we used to have it. Do we not have it?
So there
this
are
past
some
year?
people who are Wilson trained.
Right.
In regards to particulars, I don't know, Mrs. George, did we have individuals who were receiving this last year through special ed?
We have one Wilson reading teacher in special ed.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay. All right,
yeah,
gotcha.
right.
All right, thanks.
Just for the benefit of people who might be listening online, she said that we have one Wilson-trained reading specialist in the special ed department now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, committee members, if you agree to put this forward to full board meeting, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes? Director Gacko?
Yes. Yes, sorry.
It's all right, I'll just keep reminding you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. On to letter H. Nusela renewal, am I saying that right? Nuzella renewal. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the quote for Nuzella renewal at the cost of $17,535.58 for the 26-27 school year as presented. Dr. Barczyk, can you just give us a quick overview of this?
Sure, this is one of my favorites, to be honest, because this is a program that provides, it supports literacy in various aspects. But what it does is you can align it to reading levels so that everyone in the class, no matter what reading level you're at, it will adjust so that student is able to read it fluently and make comprehension of what they're actually reading in the content. So it's very beneficial in regards to helping them be successful overall in improving their reading skills.
Thank you. Committee members, any questions?
I
Comments?
remember Mr. Bailey, when he was on the board, raving about this. I thought we just renewed this in January, but, all right. Well, he wasn't here in January, I meant November. Anyway, it was just a year ago then, I guess, and that's when he said it. It's a great program. Okay.
I had a question on this. I noticed that we've added the middle schools to this, which is what's causing the increase in cost relative to last year being so significant. How are we going to incorporate these materials in the middle school where we didn't do that before? Was there something else being incorporated there? Is this an addition, and what will that look like?
I'm going to have to go to Becky on that one, but I know because we had such success with it at the high school level, that's why we wanted to bring it down to the middle school levels. And the way we're adjusting the middle school schedule, hopefully, for starting next year, it will be able to be incorporated into kind of the reshaping what they're doing in the ELA classes.
So it's going to
already.
be ELA, not necessarily social, like, because you could
Correct.
use
You
it
can
in
use it
social
for all.
studies, right?
You can use it in any of those courses,
Yeah.
right? Plus, we are incorporating 2 MTSS periods, as it will be the year of MTSS next year in this district. But you'll be able to incorporate that into those times where if you have a very level group of readers, you can easily work as a teacher to differentiate that same context and still be successful in getting them to where they need to be.
That's great.
Yep.
My question is really just out of, as we're expanding the access, I want to make sure that teachers are ready to deploy it in the classroom and that it's actually going to be used.
Yep. Yes.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, hearing none, committee members, if you want to put this forward to full board meeting, please say yes.
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 Yes. Okay, moving on to I, Common Lit School Essentials Pro Plus quote. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the quote for Common Lit School Essentials Pro Plus for North Brandywine and Scott Middle Schools at the cost of $5,700 as presented. Committee members, any questions or comments? Hearing none, full board. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, committee members, to agree to put this forward to full board meeting, please say yes.
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 All right, moving on to J. Textbook recommendations for probability and statistics courses. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the purchase of new course resources for advanced placement probability and statistics and honors academic probability and statistics courses at the cost of $25,131.60 as presented. These are aligned with the updated advanced placement assessments plan for May 2027. committee, any questions or comments? All right. Full board, any questions or comments? All right. Hearing none, committee members, if you agree to put this forward to the full board meeting, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Moving on to K, middle school science resources. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the purchase of refill kits for TWIG grades 6 through 8th and additional teacher kits to support new middle school science positions at a cost of $46,109.65 as presented. These do not include refill kits for years 2 through 6. Okay. I think that makes sense to me. Any committee members, any questions? Comments on this? Full board, any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. Committee members, if you want to agree to put this forward to full board meeting, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Just looking for bundling. Am I missing any here? L, overnight out-of-state trips for athletic activities in 2026-2027 school year. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the 26-27 PIAA Championship events, overnight stays, and out-of-state trips for all listed athletic club events. Confidential attachment list is listing all PIAA Championship events, overnight stays, out-of-state trips. Obviously, is kept confidential. Any questions, comments? For committee or full board? Okay, hearing none. Committee members, please say yes if you agree to put this forward to full board meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Moving on to M, International Overnight Social Studies Department Field Trip for 2027. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approves an international field trip request from the Cash Social Studies Department for the Global Leadership Summit during the summer of 2027 as presented. There's no cost to the school district. It's organized by EF, Education First, and the cost per student is $5,459. Not going to read all the rest unless there's any questions or comments. Dr.
No,
Bartos?
I just want to speak to it because Lena McKim, who's here tonight, had sent this to me, and when I saw the information on it, I told Mr. Changer, I'm like, we have to definitely let Lena dig into this because it looks like just an incredible opportunity for our students. It's not just your regular EF tour, it's a leadership course and all. And Lena, if you're comfortable, would you mind coming to the mic just to share a couple words? And I think you might have an extra chaperone when this occurs. So even though I don't travel, I may get on a plane for this one.
Make sure you turn on the microphone. There you go.
There, oh, sorry. Good evening. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you this evening. I have worked in the school district for over 20 years. I've taken students to New York City in 7th grade, to Williamsburg in 8th grade. I accompanied Joe Tassoni on 2 of his 3 international trips, and I'll be accompanying Rita on her trip in July. So I'm very familiar with escorting students lots of places. But I'm very excited to speak on this trip tonight because this isn't just a trip to Europe. It is an international leadership summit where our students will get to mix with students from around the world. We will participate in a 3-day leadership summit where they will engage in breakout sessions fostering everything from global sustainability, leadership skills, international relations. They'll participate in roundtable discussions, and they'll hear a keynote speech by Malala. They'll also get to participate in a competition where they will propose a solution to a problem that they're presented at one of their breakout sessions. All of their proposals will be collected. They will present them to the full Leadership Summit, and then they'll be put in a book and stored in the Nobel Museum. So it's a really great 3-day opportunity for our students to meet students from everywhere around the world and showcase their skills and how great they are to their international peers. And then from Prague, we'll travel to Belgium and the Netherlands, and then we'll come home. So do you have any questions?
I do. I just want to, this is amazing. I think this is a great opportunity. I'm just concerned about the price for those who,
I am also concerned about the price.
okay.
So I've reached out actually to try and make contact with some friends who are in development in other fields to get ideas for how we can begin to support our students. I would like to take between 16 and 18 9th through 12th graders. So I'm putting ideas together for fundraising that's
Okay.
more than just crowdfunding. I'm hoping to put together at least one basket bingo. I would like to do, I'm looking for all the ideas I can, but I am very eager to facilitate field trip fundraising for this.
Yeah, I mean, even for me, this would be hard to,
Yes. Yes.
send one of my kids on it. I mean, I like how you broke it down per month, but that's still a high
It is.
amount. So as much fundraising as we could
My-
possibly do or get behind or sponsorships, we've been doing better at that too.
Absolutely. And I just want to say, and Lena, I'm sure you're aware, but EF Tours
Yes.
is a great partner in helping to do the fundraising, to the fact, like, I'll just use my own example of, my daughter went on a trip with her class from a couple years ago, and literally, it was a similar cost and trip, and it ended up being like half.
Oh,
because
wow.
the fundraising they did. And it was getting corporate sponsorships
Yes.
and everything else that really helped drive down that cost. And so I think for the cost and getting that fundraising in place, the benefit of these 16 to 18 students will just be amazing for sure.
Would it also be possible to talk to like our district partners, like the Ed Foundation and
Oh, absolutely, yes.
others to
Yep.
maybe sew into it as well, a little bit?
Yep.
That was the plan, was to talk to as many individuals to try and get sponsorships as possible.
I just don't want kids to not,
Right.
they go, oh goodness, because I
It's,
could.
oh goodness, it's
even
too
parents.
expensive.
Right. So a plan.
I had set a goal for myself, and I'm working on trying to create the infrastructure that we could facilitate fundraising for at least $1,500 per student.
Great.
That's where I am.
And the other important part of this is for the students and the parents of the students who are interested in going, they have to be part of that process.
Yes.
Absolutely.
They have to be invested that this is what we're doing as a group to make sure we can bring down the cost of the trip, so.
This is great. It's an amazing opportunity, and I look forward to hearing how this all, like, how their trip is and what the experience is for the kids. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I did notice in the materials, it talks about how high school students who attend can earn, if they do some online stuff in addition to the trip, they can earn an elective credit for high school. Have we looked into how we would account for that, make sure that they are able to benefit from that in terms of their cash
I've looked into it, have you?
No, I have not.
It's very convoluted, I'm gonna be honest. and
Okay.
I don't think it's really worth it for what the students have to do. I think their experience is more beneficial than having them to, I don't know, that's my own opinion. But I think that we can definitely look to see how it can be incorporated into their academic overall achievement and,
My
as a whole.
concern is not so much like, will they or won't they do it, but if somebody does it, I want to make sure that we're able to
Sure.
give them credit for it.
sure.
I can speak to the college credit portion, of the other side.
Yeah.
My youngest accompanied Joe Tassoni and I to Rome last year, and we opted for the college credit. And it was some forms, she had some questions to fill out, photos to supply, and then a nominal fee. And so she got 3 college credits for her trip to Rome.
Nice. Great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you so much for coming in and for over 20 years of service here at Coatesville School District. All right, committee members, other questions? We'll say yes if you agree to move this forward to full board meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, moving on to N. Establish 2 student clubs at the high school level. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve 2 previous pilot clubs to transition into official clubs, the Black Student Union Club and the National English Honor Society Club, as presented. Committee members, any questions or comments on these? Full board, any questions or comments on these?
So I'm confused. Were these pilot clubs or were these volunteer clubs?
These were previously volunteer clubs,
Okay, and
and
so.
they're now requesting to become as part of a paid position for their services.
So the teachers who were advising them were doing it on a volunteer basis, and if we approve this, then they'll receive extra duty pay for
Correct.
their support of the clubs?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. How, have we done a unit calculation?
Okay.
All right.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions? Thank you. Okay, hearing none. For committee members, if you agree to put this forward to the full board meeting, please say yes.
Yes.
Okay, am I okay to bundle the next 2, O and P? Absolutely. All right. Early graduation requests. Recommended action that, student is looking to graduate at the conclusion of the first semester in their senior year. Plan on enrolling in college in January of 2027 in one case. Second one looks just the same. So any questions on this? Obviously, it's confidential in nature. All right, hearing none. Committee members, if you agree to put this forward to the full board meeting, please say yes.
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 Yes. Moving on to Q. Quote for the Riverside. Do you like that? That was good. Thanks. Q quote for the Riverside Insights for, is this COGAT? Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson, it's COGAT, which is a standardized test.
Got it. Screener and post-screener for gifted education. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approves quotes for COGAT, Cognitive Abilities Test Screener, Form 8 for levels 5, 6, 7, 18, and the Cognitive Abilities Test Post-Screener from Form 8 for levels 5, 6, 7, 18, online testing for gifted education as presented. So obviously, I had a question which you already answered. Any other questions?
How do we come up with the numbers that we've ordered? So I see we've ordered 150 screeners and we've got 46, COGAT screening Form 8 online tests. Like, I know we're trying to
I'm going
do.
to point to Hannah. And do you know? 'Cause you are the gifted guru here.
So I can say that we are currently using this assessment, the screening form, with 2nd and 5th graders each year to identify students who might need a full gifted evaluation, looking at that and other criteria. The post-screener is something we haven't really been utilizing much, but it's another way for students who took that screener and we're still not sure if they need the full gifted evaluation, if they're kind of on the bubble, to avoid overtaxing our school psychologists and doing too many evaluations while also not overlooking students who might be on the border and might not have had the opportunity for an evaluation in the past. We're looking to use the post screener to give us a little more data. It can be administered just like the screening form by a gifted teacher, a guidance counselor, anyone else who I have trained to do it. And then we can get more data on whether a student who we're unsure if they need that full evaluation, whether they would benefit from that at a much lower cost than the full school psychologist evaluation for gifted.
Okay, so the 150 is along the lines of how many students we've typically needed materials to screen just based on our own observations or parent requests, and then the 46 is about a third of them maybe on the bubble. We could do this deeper, the second screening to see if it warrants sending them to a full evaluation. Is that how these numbers
I think the
Jive.
numbers, we had some remaining licenses that were impacting, maybe Brenda has more information. So we do give it to more than 150 students, obviously, if we're doing all second and fifth graders.
Yep.
But in terms of, we had leftovers and working with the vendor to figure out how many we actually needed.
Okay.
I think is where the numbers are not the full number of students we might use it for. It's more so, she can speak to that specifically.
Yeah, I can just confirm that. You're correct. We order a certain number of licenses, like we had them from when we started this a few years ago, and then they roll over from year to year if we don't use them.
Okay.
So it just depends on how many we use every year. Some roll over. We don't have to purchase as many for that level. So
Okay.
that's why the numbers are so varied.
That's very helpful. Thank you to both of you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, hearing none. For committee, if you agree to put this forward to the full board meeting, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Moving on to R, Cottage 7 Education Agreement for ESY 2025.
Do you want to bundle RS and W?
I would love to.
Okay.
Bundling RS
Just a
and
suggestion.
W, good eye, thank you. So Cottage 7 Education Agreement, Devereaux School Programs, ESY, RSY 2026-27 Agreement, and the Elwyn Agreement for ESY 25-26. Any questions on any three of those from committee members or comments? Full board? Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, committee members, if you agree to put this forward to full board meeting, please say yes.
Yes.
Okay, moving down to T then, quote for campus close for ratification. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors will ratify the invoices from campus close for T-shirts, price $6.55 to $13.75 per shirt based on imprint colors and size for Special Olympics participants and volunteers. Second quote acquired from Savvy Designs was at $13 per shirt. Was this already spent?
That
I'm
was,
assuming?
the Special Olympics was last week, 2 weeks ago now. And I am going to, if you don't mind, Mr. Wilson, I just want to say, this is one of my absolute favorite events of the entire year. I mean, I just love seeing our students with special needs come out, and everyone, like Brenda's office and Jeff and everyone who is part of it, because it is such an incredible event. And seeing all these different districts come from the Chester County area onto our campus and just celebrate the students it's just breathtaking. And I don't utilize that term, but anyone to come out and see that at any time each year is just a great experience. So
It is certainly a wonderful event, and I love that we get to host that. Any questions, comments from committee or board? Okay. Hearing none, committee members, if you agree to put this forward to full board meeting, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Moving on to U, Cottage 7 Compensation Agreement for Student IDs. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the compensation agreement with Cottage 7 Education for Student IDs number 100207702, 10017797 for the 25-26 school year as presented. Obviously, there's executive content. Committee members are full board, confidential. Any comments that can be said here? Hearing none. Committee members, if you agree to put this forward to full board meeting, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. V, independent educational evaluation for student. Recommended action, the Board of School Directors approve the agreement for independent educational evaluations. Man, I'm going to butcher some words tonight. Tarazi Neuropsychology Services, did I say that right? Tarazi, LLC, for student ID 10016244 as presented. Right. Executive content for our viewing. Any comments or questions? Committee or board? Hearing none. Committee members, if you agree to put this forward to full board meeting, please say yes.
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 All right, moving past W to X, homebound request for student. Recommended action, the Board of School Directors approve the agreement for independent educational evaluations with Tarazi Neuropsychology Services, probably should have bundled this, for student ID 1001-6244 as presented. I'm imagining there's no questions or comments. Okay. Committee members, if you agree to put this forward to full board meeting, please say yes.
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 Yes, sorry.
That's all right. Thank you. We're almost there.
Thank you.
Why? Smart Futures quote. Recommended action, the Board of School Directors approve the quote for Smart Futures for the 2026-2027 school year for all students, grades K-12, as presented. Dr. Barczyk, could you just summarize this for us, please?
Sure. So Smart Futures is it's an application for students to utilize to help them work through their college and career choices, whether it be higher ed or they're looking to go into a certain area, a pathway. It can provide them with identifying local businesses in the area where they can internship, they can shadow. It gives them a lot of different tools to use in helping them prepare for their secondary, whatever they're going to do after graduation. And it's been a great tool. It's actually a Pennsylvania-owned business, and they continue to expand it each year, and would love at some point to show the board the actual uses of this, because there's so many pieces to it that the students benefit from. It would be good to see.
Okay. Sounds great. Any questions? No? Okay. Committee members or full board? Okay, hearing none for committee members. If you agree to put this forward to full board meeting, please say yes.
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 Okay, that concludes that section. Informational items. Charter school enrollment reports as of 4/30/2026. There's no old business. Any new business? Any public comment?
Nope.
No public comment. The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, June 9th, 2026. And at this time, 7:08, I'll adjourn the Education Committee meeting.
Awesome. And I'm going to dismiss the student representatives now instead of later. Just because it's May. Thank you. So. No, it's May, and we're going through-
And we expect you won't have much input on operations.
Operations, right. So. Thank you. Yep. Thank you for
Hannah.
coming.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Hannah.
All right. Who is pinch hitting? All right, thank you. With that, I will call to order the Operations Committee meeting for May 12th, 2026 at 7:09 p.m. I am the Vice Chairperson, Liz Muirhead, sitting in for Chairperson Beth Brindle, who is excused. I recognize committee members Holly Charest and Liren Yako. Starting with the approval of the minutes, are there any additions, corrections, or modifications for the April 14th, 2026 Operations Committee minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving these minutes, please say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, the minutes are so approved and will be placed on file. We have no presentations. Starting with the agenda items, letter A, Borough Construction, Doe Run Elementary Change Order. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the change order from Borough Construction for the deletion of shelving and lounge unit in the Media Center for a credit of $13,400 as presented. Any questions or comments from the committee? Yes?
So I just want to bring this up because this was in the library at
Yes.
Doe Run, and what happened was we realized we needed more space for books. And this was a large piece of furniture that did house some of the books that could be possible, but we wanted to purchase more shelving. So this was a credit so we can look at expanding it so we have more shelving in the library itself.
So it's a credit now, but there might be more shelving later. Okay. Any questions or comments from the full board? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is so moved. Letter B, ICS North Brandywine Middle School change order that the Board of School Directors approve the change order from ICS Consulting to amend the professional services agreement for the North Brandywine Middle School project as presented. I'm sorry, can you remind me why we have to approve this agreement? I know we just talked.
Their fee is based on the cost of the building.
That's right.
And
I thought that I wrote it down, but I didn't have it in
Yeah.
my notes. Okay, so our estimates came in higher than the original cost, and so the fee goes up, and so we have that reflected in this new
Correct.
agreement. See, I remember this now. Okay, any questions or comments on this item from the committee? Any questions or comments from the full board? All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, it is so moved. Okay, letter C, Drumheller Construction Cash Loading Dock Repair. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the recommendation from ICS Consulting and award Drumheller Construction the loading dock repair project at the senior high school for a total cost of $149,320 as presented. This is something we discussed before. It's the dock and the handicapped ramp on the side of the school. There was a tentative budget that we had approved before, and just a reminder that we're salvaging the railings that are currently there for some considerable savings. So thank you for being attentive to that.
That's correct. I believe, my memory serves me, our original estimate was about 115. This increase is due to the dock leveler that is there and had 25-plus years, which does not work. So while we're doing this, we might as well upgrade that.
That seems very fair. Any questions or comments from the committee? Steve? All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is so moved. Letter D, United States Roofing Corporation, the intermediate high school roof repair. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the recommendation from Roofing Resources, Inc. and award United States Roofing Corporation the roof replacement project at the intermediate high school areas 1, 2, 3, and 4 for a total cost of $465,400 as presented. You all may recall that we've approved a lot of these roofing projects with different numbers over the past some months and years. My understanding is that this is the last piece of that project that has been...
This is the 6th year of a 5-year program.
We're very thorough.
Yes, and this came in at a cost we anticipated.
Okay.
The next one did not, and I'll explain.
Okay. So this one, I'll note that while this has been a long time coming to finish this project, the roof replacement project does have a 25-year warranty. And so we will probably have it inspected in about 20 years to see if we can actually, if it's in good enough condition to extend the warranty at that time. So although this is a significant investment and has been over the past few years, we should get a lot of life out of it. Any questions or comments from the committee members or Steve? All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is so moved. Okay. The next one, letter E, the placeholder for the cash roof repair. We do not have a bid for this yet, so I will ask you to...
So I did have bids come in on this,
Okay,
and I'm not comfortable with them.
okay,
I think they're at least 400,000 over what they should be,
okay. What were you expecting them to be?
7, 8.
Okay,
And we opened them last week. I told them to go back to the drawing board, look at a different material. You know, to me, it should be in the $45, $50 square foot. It came in at 72. That's not acceptable. And if it doesn't come down, we won't do it. We'll put it off until the numbers come in. I'm not going to just spend money to, you know, spend it and say, yeah, we opened the bids.
okay.
That was going to be my question. I've seen a lot of cash being done every year.
This would be the final piece on cash.
This one for cash
Correct.
would be the final.
Correct.
Because every year we're doing something on that roof.
So this is, I'm not going to say the manufacturer, but this is one we've used. But there's an alternative that is comparable, and we've used those also. So If we can change that, I told them they're going to go back, the same people that bid on it have all the information. So they just have to go back and look at the, the cost of obtaining the material and a little more installation, because they thought it was a flat roof when it's actually a slight pitch. But I can see it 300,000-400,000 at least
Okay.
savings.
So if you get bids that you like before the end of the month meeting, they'll show up on that agenda and we can approve them then. If you don't get those, then I assume you'll pull it.
I have the bid opening for May 20th, so it will be, if they're acceptable, on your end of the month meeting.
Okay. So with that in mind, we would recommend moving this to the full board agenda at the end of the month, knowing that if it's not to his liking, he'll pull it back. Okay. Any questions or concerns?
Nope.
All right. All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is so moved. Okay. Letter F, John Dorick asphalt bid, that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal from John Dorick for asphalt services for the district not to exceed $97,595. There's an extra .00 at the end, but it's $97,595, just under 100,000, right?
I was a little nervous printing that out.
I know, I'm just looking at that.
It's actually John DeRocco. I apologize for that. Yeah, but this will, additional work at the main campus for the asphalt and the parking lots.
Yes, and this is a bid that was processed through the IU?
Correct. This one and the next two.
Okay.
And for these three, I thought I'd have it today, but we'll have letters of recommendation from the IU, I'm told tomorrow. So I just want to make sure this is still in the process. And their letter of recommendations are the three that we have here.
Great. So my understanding is that as you're looking at the parking lot outside the high school, this is for the third row, the one like next to the field, where the
Correct.
cracks are really bad.
Correct.
So just so you know where we're talking about. Any questions or comments on that one? Okay, all in favor of moving that to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is so moved. Okay. I'll just bundle the two Unitex, since you seemed like those were, you were ready to talk about all of those letters G and H. Unitex asphalt seal coating, not to exceed $30,855, and the Unitex concrete bid, not to exceed $230,392. You said these are also bids processed through the IU.
Correct. The seal coating will seal coat the parking lot in front of the 910. We did do the parking areas for the high school last year. The concrete is at $230. That was the whole bid. I had to award the whole bid. I talked to the contractor. I'm probably only going to go up to and not to exceed $200,000. And I think that should round out our sidewalk repairs at the main campus for a number of years. There's also some small sidewalks I'm going to replace and handicap curb cuts at Rainbow.
Okay. Any questions or comments from committee or full board? All right, all in favor of moving letters G and H to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is so moved. All right, letter I, Walter Brucker and Company, Inc., District Office Renovation. Recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the proposal from Walter Brucker and Company for the Coatesville Area School District Administration Buildings Office Renovation Project for a total cost of $185,644 as presented. Lori, did you want to just comment on why we're doing these renovations real quick?
Yeah, so we currently have, with the expansion of more staff within the building, we currently have a staff member who's been in a conference room for probably the last 2 years. We do have another conference room over on the main side of the business office that we will be enclosing in for, privacy, and then adding 2 additional offices there to move her into one of those offices. And then I have another member that shares an office, and for privacy reasons, moving that person into their own office as well. So just from expansion, we need kind of add some more space, so that's what these renovations are for.
Yeah, and a lot of these employees are working on confidential type items.
One of the positives of getting this approved this month would be that they can get there in June, and when we go to the 4-day work week, there'll be, at least that Friday, that there won't be any disturbance in that area.
Great. Any questions or comments on this item? Okay. All in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, it is so moved. Thank you. All right, letter J, CCIU line-wise agreement, recommended action that the Board of School Directors approve the agreement with the Chester County Intermediate Unit for line-wise content filter. The annual contract term covers June 1st, 2026 through August 3rd, 2027 in the amount of $52,575. And this is a pretty significant increase over what we used previously, which was Securely, which only cost $27,000. But Rich was going to talk to us about why this is a good thing to do.
So part of our conversation, Securely's are currently our content filter. And it's based on URLs. So when you type in www.something, they have a list of those that are good or bad. And Securely allows you to go to it or not go to it based on which list it's on. This product works a little differently, and this product actually works on the content that's on the page. Not only do they have a list, they said, I think, approximately 200,000 new web pages are created every day. So to update this list that may appear somewhere or not appear, or when it gets updated, is very challenging for these companies. This product also works similar to Securely, where it will notify our administrators and counselors when there's someone maybe with self-harm or inappropriate content, and then they can address it. They currently get that through an email, and then they have to go find the student, and they have to call us. We have to look at the student's past 10 or 15 minutes of search history for maybe it was a good actual medical reason they were looking up something for depression, but the depression flagged it as maybe harm because they might have been looking for help. So I want to run through a couple things on here with LimeWise and why it's different. It is bid through PEPM, and it's bid through the state, and it's purchased, the IU is one of the resellers. So they're a pretty good organization. I think they have 8 million users right now. So LimeWise, I'm not going to read their stuff verbatim because I'm not going to pretend like I'm a LimeWise salesperson. I want to give you the pieces that I think are really important for us. It's a filter, it's safety focused, and it is content driven, not list driven. So the content aware module, if you see the pictures on the actual screen, they will actually be blurred if they're inappropriate live. How often does someone put a picture up that inappropriate live? It also does it through video, and it does it with text that may be on the web page. So if there's inappropriate text, it will blur that as well, even if it's an approved website that we have put on our whitelist. There's whitelists which are approved to go through. If that site gets hijacked or something changes or something inappropriate, it'll actually block the content, not just a URL. So that's why it's really important. And it'll block the videos, which we have happening today. Yeah. The content, it says right there, it'll blur images, it'll blur video, and it'll do text analysis and block it. And you can see on the right how it'll actually look for the students. Even on, if you look at the top one there, I think it's kind of like if you were searching to buy something, and you would see all the different options as the Home Depot and Lowe's and somewhere else. If it was an inappropriate picture, it would be blocked. So the content piece is really cool. This was an example that she gave us that was to visit NYC, except for the page was not an appropriate page once it scrolled down to the bottom, and some of the scrolls are not happening, but at the bottom of this page, there were very inappropriate links, but it looks like it was on that list to go to. It's okay, let's visit NYC. And at the bottom, it was very inappropriate. And it showed how their technology focused on the content and not necessarily the URL. You can allow, blah, 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 blah. It blocks so I talked about 200,000 pages a day. So if it doesn't know and it can't tell from the content, it will block it. Uncategorized ones, meaning we haven't categorized them as shopping, educational, or any category that we have, they'll block them and let us know. And even allowed sites, like I said, if we were to allow it and something would happen, it would still block the content on the page or the whole page if appropriate blocking.
So like if an approved site were to get hijacked and inappropriate content were placed on that site, they would recognize the content was inappropriate and block it.
Correct. Or if they steal the domain or whatever people want to do to gain money in this world that's annoying. So one really important part with Dr. Ryder and Rebecca Doherty and Lynn Mancinelli was ClassWise. ClassWise is available or products such like that with our current Securely. That gives our teachers in secondary an option to look at all of their student screens. You can see along there, they're all the student screens in that class at that moment. So the schedules are loaded into LimeWise. All the students in the room have their screen up. The teacher can stop all of those so that, Steve's not paying attention, so we can block Steve's and just make his screen go black. You can also load it with content. You can preload the tabs through your lesson that they want. And we do have all the training scheduled for the beginning of the new year, at least time slots available, so that we can train the teachers that would use this as a classroom management tool. It only happens, we have the option of giving the teachers the availability to open even YouTube or other pieces that they may use that they don't necessarily need to put in a tech ticket to let us know to unblock something to be used next Tuesday. They can unblock it, and it's only unblocked for that class period time, not after they leave, or if it's a gaming site that's a reward or whatever it may be, it puts the control back in the teacher's hands and gives them the option to use the content that they need. So this was an added component that we were looking at for Securely to be used as a classroom management tool.
And the number of licenses that we got for this is only for the secondary level, if I'm looking at the quote, right?
Yes, the quotes for the secondary level, because our iPads Apple will proprietarily not allow us to manage their iPads.
Right.
So we do have Apple Classroom that does the same piece down in the primary level.
Right, great.
So it gives the teacher screen a visibility, gives them some YouTube controls that are still down to our SEPA compliant requirements, gives them screenshot history. I'm pretty good. I can switch between tabs and windows really fast before you get behind me, so you don't see that I'm playing that game or doing that thing. This actually does the history of what Dr. Rybarczyk was doing before I got behind him, because it didn't look like he was paying attention. It puts a lot back in the teacher's hands to manage their classroom. They don't have to use every component, but the tools are there for them to use. It also does two-way communications. So instead of me disrupting the class during a test or a process or something happening, a student can actually just chat with the teacher like, hey, I'm stuck, or I need some help, or is this page 2 correct? Whatever it would be. Gives the teachers dashboards to see who's on and off, what they're actually on, what tabs they have open and live. So Monitor is the component I was talking about where our current administrators get notified of harm, self-harm, inappropriate content, drugs, guns, or other such. Monitor is actually an upgraded version, and Securely does have the same option, and I priced it out last year, and it was doubled our cost of currently what we have. This is 24/7 human monitoring of what's happening. So they set a threshold. When that threshold is met and a student goes to an inappropriate area, it will come up at a category 5. So there's 5 different levels, and 5 is red, and red is an actual phone call. We determine who gets the phone call based on who the student is, what building there is, and a chain of people that they would call. So if it was self-harm, which we do have some concerning, we have a lot of false positives is what we have. And our administrators and P folks are spending time chasing down something that could have been looked at by a person and seen that it was just research on history of something rather than actual a problem. So this is a 24/7 monitoring service that looks at all of the students' traffic, and if they get alerted and reach that threshold, an actual phone call happens. And that can actually be down to the local police if we think it's at that level to go to the student's home. Real-time human monitoring, risk assess everything, even stuff that they may be typing in their Google Suite, so in their Google Docs or spreadsheets, or even if they're some of the things, I'm not going to say, I'm not giving any more ideas, but there's ways to hide text in things, but they're actually on pages. And it really brings a decreased load, but I think a higher level of service to protecting our students. Monitor comes up with a nice dashboard and tells you everything about it. The really cool part of LineWise is LineWise Parent. So LineWise Parent, if we connect the app to our domain, when the student goes home with their device, the parent can use their app for their students' home use. So they see what their students are doing when they're using our device at their home, not in the district, at home. So it gives them some control about what they're doing or not doing, gives them some information about if they studied, they can set time frames, they can set off time, put some control back into the parents. There's also the online safety hub, which parents can get information, read, watch videos, and learn about cybersecurity, as well as key signs for other problems that they should be aware of that maybe they can't find somewhere else. And they do host webinars for free, and that's all free for parents. That's all of that is free. There's no extra cost, not for buying these extra pieces. If we just did the filter, we would still get these free parent components.
Nice.
View student timelines, pause the internet, see how much time they're spending on their apps, and balance their screen time and supervision for healthy online behavior. And it connects parents' apps to your school's filter and allows the parents to do these things on our device at their home, not during the school day, not watching what they're doing or stopping their internet while they're here. And so there's one other component. It's at the top of the quote, and it's a piece of hardware that sits here. Securely is a cloud-based product, which means it's only in the internet. And when they went down, or there was an internet break somewhere in the world, we lost our filtering. So that did not give us filtering in the building for that panicky time. Luckily, we have a little backup for all the very high-level inappropriate stuff. This is an on-site box that copies what's in the cloud and uses it here within the district, regardless of what's broken out on the internet. So all of those settings live both in the district as well as outside in the cloud.
That is very comprehensive and helpful. I know I had done a little bit of review of this quote, and if we just look at the two things that Securely was providing us, which is the filter and the monitoring, it's about a $5,000 increase over what that was costing us with Securely, but that was a lot of false positives, no human review, and an email when there was a level 5 issue. This is giving us an additional layer of human monitoring when there is a search or something accessed that would cause an alert to make sure that it's not a false positive, and then there's a series of phone calls until they reach somebody, so that the ability to go address that student as quickly as possible is there. And then if we look at the other things that are additional, that local gateway is an additional $6,000. The content aware, which is the blurring, is $5,100. And then that class-wise feature is $9,600. So the additional cost is coming with very substantial additional benefits, in my opinion. So, any questions for Rich on this line-wise proposal from the committee, from Steve? Okay, all in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, it is so moved. Thank you, Rich. And then final item is letter K, Network Connections, Inc., Doe Run Elementary Change Order. This is just an additional $23,000 to add a few access control infrastructure, door readers, controllers, power supplies, things like that. I think some of this for our security office. Any questions or comments on this item from the committee, from the full board? Okay, all in favor of moving this to the full board agenda, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is so moved. There are no informational items. There is no old business. Is there any new business? Is there any public comment? I think the answer is no. Carol, is there any? Okay. Our next meeting is Tuesday, June 9th, 2026. And with that, I adjourn the Operations Committee at 7:37 p.m. I can.
Yeah. The rest of the board.
Okay, good evening. I call to order the Policy Committee at 7:38. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Recommended action is to approve the Policy Committee meeting minutes from April 14th, 2026. Are there any questions or comments on the minutes from committee? Or from Steve? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of posting the minutes for public record, please say yes.
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 All right, thank you, and yes. There are no presentations, so we're going to move on to agenda items. Agenda item A, CASD Board Policy 140, Charter Schools, first reading. I have been informed that this policy requires further edits, so I am proposing that we strike this from the agenda for this evening until the edits have been done. Okay. All those in the committee who agree to strike this from the agenda, please say yes.
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 And yes. Okay. Next one, Board Policy, letter B, Board Policy 236.1, Threat Assessment. The edits that were done to this, in light of new requirement under 24 PS Section 1302-E, added the following statements under authority. Quote, the established procedures must include protocols for a timely consultation between the team and law enforcement, juvenile justice agencies, county agencies, healthcare providers, or behavior service providers as appropriate, to refer students whose behavior indicates a potential threat for additional interventions or supports, including the exchange of relevant information in accordance with federal and state law. To my committee members, are there any questions or comments regarding this policy? Okay. Any questions, Steve? Nope. Okay. Please say yes if you'd like to move this policy forward for a second reading.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, next one. Board Policy 805, Emergency Preparedness, first reading. So regarding this policy, we have reformatted, and the definition section was moved up. And then upon review, much of the language in the policy is statutory. The language remains in the policy and was not moved to the AR. That corresponds to this. To my committee members, any questions or comments regarding this policy? All right. Questions from the full board? Okay. Please say yes if you'd like to move this policy forward for a second reading.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, next policy, letter D, Board Policy 810, Transportation, first reading. I am not sure what edits were done to this policy. Ms. Snyder, can you indicate what was done on this policy? Oh, I'm sorry. Justin? Sorry.
He wrote it.
Sure. So the most, I mean, other than the stylistic adjustments that we've been making as we go along, the most significant adjustment was the reference to the transportation that's provided in the context of charter school students based on the recent Supreme Court decision in Bell versus Wilkinsburg.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's really the primary adjustment that's been made.
Okay. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure.
To my committee members, any questions or comments regarding this policy? Steve, any questions? Okay. Please say yes if you would like to move this policy forward for second reading.
Yep.
Yes.
And yes. Okay, I am going to bundle letter E, policy 326 complaint process, letter F, policy 251 homeless students, letter G, excuse me, policy 717 cellular telephones. That sounds very formal. And then letter H, policy 830, security of computerized personal information breach notification. These items are all up for a second reading. To my committee members, any questions, comments regarding the policies that are up for second read? Okay. Steve, any questions on these policies? No. No, okay. Please say yes if you would like to move these forward for approval.
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. As you can see in informational items, there are the corresponding ARs that go with the policies. Since we struck the first policy, policy 140, do I need to approve the striking of the AR?
It's actually your discretion because it's an informational item,
Okay.
but I can tell you that a substantial amount of the update is going to pertain to the AR itself.
Okay, so,
I think if we're bringing 140 back for a first read, Dr.
Yeah.
Barczyk,
we'll strike that.
would the preference be to bring that back?
Okay. Okay. All right, we'll strike that. Otherwise, there are the ARs for the policies that were passed, so that would be B through F. Is there any old business? Okay, I do have some new business. I was wondering if there could be some review or edits of policy 126, and then the corresponding AR that goes to it, 126-AR-0, regarding class size. It was just something that came up recently in a meeting that I was in, and we assured participants that we would go and examine that policy and make any necessary updates. So I wanted to make sure I kept my word to them. So. What policy was that? 126.
On class sizes.
On class sizes. Okay, anybody else have any new business? No? Okay. All right, public comment? No public comment, okay. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, June 9th, 2026, and I am going to adjourn the committee, the policy committee at 7:45.
Thank you.